Now, I know that old darn webbot can't never be right. It's a piece of software. Isn't right again in the same data set that has been phenomenally accurate this year, especially the last report he released, which is the one where he said he changed the algorithm and some functions of the webbot internally, I guess, and said it's either going to be an epic fail or it's going to be pretty good. Thus far, it looks like it's pretty good, so he released it. And I'll be damned if I hadn't been following it these last several months. And not that it was some big events were named in the beginning, but they sure as hell happened. This is the same data set that is saying they were going to slam silver for about 3 or 4 months into fall. And then fall, it's going to be futile anyways because of a weird hyperinflation that kicks in, not the normal hyperinflation. So I'm going to read you this first before I let this video play in the background. All you're going to do is hear the sound of it. You don't need to see it anyways. It's Nancy Grace. Talk about a mainstream TV personality. That is how this got nailed. Oh man, incredible. So let's start off with the first part of this report. What about precious metals over 2012? Additional note, a very broad archetype that brings in all forms of uses, including monetary. We are concentrating on this latter, though note that there are many data items suggesting that upcoming, in other words, soon-to-be leaked energy devices will propel the demand for precious metals. That's aside the point is what he's saying. The data sets within both the populous entities and the market entity for the precious metals all include a primary support for a crisis in spring northern hemisphere, and this crisis is showing for May and late spring into summer, near summer / solstice. It seems safe to presume that the current, as of this writing, which was back in May, late May I believe, as of this writing, the assault on pricing of precious metals is the crisis. If so, then the data would indicate that in summer, northern hemisphere, the powers that be and their economic minions will be trying to force illness upon the price based in Federal Reserve notes, price of precious metals, and further to retain low prices through to fall northern hemisphere. The data sets are quite clear in stating that this is an attempt that will have tremendous power behind it, yet it will fail as hyperinflation will manifest, albeit in a strange form. Thus far, they've been throwing everything at precious metals to keep those prices down. This is obvious. More so than I've ever seen for the last several months, just like it said they would. Nobody can argue with that. Further, the data suggests that worn green US dollars, if you will, are going to be at the center of a great struggle over the waning days and hours possibly of spring northern hemisphere. The data sets clearly indicate that severe hardship will descend on dollar-based economies starting in summer. The dataset contains several bespoke references for a 3-month period in which this struggle with ignored illness within the system is denied vigorously. The datasets are saying that nowhere will the shrill voices be more denying than on American TV. These datasets would seem to indicate something of a final frenzy of false patriotic fervor on the part of the propaganda whores of the mainstream media. There are sets going to frothing at the mouth and spewing guest / opposition with spit and incentive. The idea is that the linguistic tone of the mainstream media will be so rabid and so verbally abusive of any and all opposition or disputations as to be lambasted by the planetary populace. The data reads as though the daily spew from the mainstream media is just so outrageously false that the raggers, or video bloggers, if you will, are waiting to pounce for the juicy bits for their parody video work. So they're basically saying, let's see, hang on. If you just read that how I read it, there's going to be mainstream media, propaganda press whores. Stay away from silver. Stay away from gold. You're a terrorist or you're a bozo. You're out of your mind. Blah blah blah. That's what it said. I already knew this, which is why as soon as I saw the video I just saw a minute ago, which made me want to do this video, I already knew. Oh my God, that was in the Webbot report. Let me go see specifically what it says because I don't remember it word for word. So I just pulled open the old Webbot report, did a little quick search for the word metal, and on page 9 and 10 basically, what I just read you. I'm going to read that one more time because that's the juicy bit of it, and then I'm going to let this video play. It's only about a minute and 10 seconds or something like that, and you're just going to listen to it. It's old Nancy Grace with a guest referring to a man who went out and bought a bunch of precious metals. I'm not sure what the whole story was because this person that uploaded the video kind of cut right in the middle of it. However, listening to her comments, what she says about this person, how they're made to look like some kind of wacko idiot for buying precious metals, blew me away, and I knew this was in the Webbot report. So let me read this one more time, this last paragraph, and then I'm going to play it. The data sets contain several bespoke references for a 3-month period in which this struggle with ignored illness within the system is denied vigorously. In other words, our economy's fine, the paper system's fine, the banks are fine. It's just denied that there's a problem. That's obvious right now to anybody who's paying attention. The data sets are saying that nowhere will the shrill voices be more denying than on American TV. These data sets would seem to indicate something of a final frenzy of false patriotic fervor on the part of the propaganda press whores of the mainstream media. There are sets going to frothing at the mouth and spewing guest/opposition with spit and incentive. I wonder if he meant spite, not spit. The idea is that the linguistic tone of the mainstream media will become so rabid and verbally abusive of any and all opposition or disputations as to the lambasted by the populace. So, you're going into precious metals, you're getting into that, you should be focusing on paper stuff. Now this guy who's making me do this news clip is what the propaganda whore press is saying. I've got to make it look like precious metals are garbage. Stay away from that. This guy's a bozo. He's out of his mind. He's an idiot. Listen, again, the words they will use. Abusive. Verbally abusive. Ready? Listen here. It's a minute and 44 seconds. Here we go.
And obviously he's watching a cable channel where you see that woman saying, I love gold. I want gold. Have you seen that? And he gets in his head that he's going to buy bullion. Why? Because he doesn't have a wife and a bunch of children running around the house. He's got time to order silver bullion. All right? Who else is going to do such a zany thing as have bullion sitting in their house?
Nancy, you just analyzed it correctly. It's somebody who is
a lonely, rich, white guy. That's who orders silver bullion.
That's right. Well, you're right. One who has no life, no responsibilities, is watching TV shows about already adjudicated crimes because he's trying to figure out how to cook up the crime himself. And the plotting and the planning, in all seriousness, has a timeless quality. I've treated stalkers in my practice, and sometimes they'll say, you know, she really hurt my feelings when she said that the other night on the date. And I'll say, well, when was that? And I'll say, well, you know, in 1992. So revenge has a timeless, endless, oceanic quality.
I still say lonely, rich, white guy without a family and kids running around to divert his attention.
Lonely, rich, white guy without a family to divert his attention.
Without a girlfriend, they're going, get
Doesn't have a girlfriend, right? This guy's a loser. That's what she's saying. He's a loser.
off the internet and stop watching cable.
Get off the internet, she tells you. Get off the internet. Back that up a little bit.
running around to divert his attention without a girlfriend there going, get off the internet, stop watching cable TV. No, he's watching cable TV. He probably sees that commercial about gold, buying gold for Pete's sake. He's got the money to do it.
Buying gold for Pete's sake. But they're showing a bunch of silver bars that he bought. If this is not a spot, this is one of those times. If this is not a spot-on Webbot prediction, I don't know what is. And for the people out there who just keep giving me crap, not a lot of people, that Webbot's garbage. It listens to stuff on the internet, and it's already written on the internet, so someone already talked about it. The Webbot is telling you in advance. I said this 100 times. I've said it 1,000. The Webbot isn't telling you of an event, the outcome of an event that we already know about the event. Right? Example, I'll use it again. Might as well, because I've used it 50,000 times. Football team, we know football team A is playing football team B at the end of the, in another week or two from now. I wonder who's going to win. Let's place bets. Well, we already knew there was a game. We already knew the football game and who was playing who. Now we're just guessing who's going to win. Right, it's 50-50. Obviously, there's going to be someone who says, oh, I guessed it. I'm a psychic, or I won because I guessed it. Right, but we already knew there was a game, and the odds are 50-50 because there's only two teams. This Webbot is telling you about something, or a game, football game, if you will, when you don't even know what a football game is, when it's going to happen, who the teams are going to be. It tells you all of that, and then the outcome. Again, this thing isn't perfect. I first want to say it. I've been following this thing for years. It has not been perfect. But when it's right, holy crap, is it right? All the times it missed something, it's just like, who cares? This thing is nailing certain things. In this last data run, all of this, the last several months, if you saw a title of mine, Webbot this, Webbot that, it was all within this data set. This thing is on point. So, having said that, let me just see if I can end this. The data set, the data of this report suggests that the reconciliation to historic normal of the silver to gold ratio will begin in July. Now, granted, we're in August 19th. Well, technically the 20th. Or no, it's the 19th because tomorrow I'm up. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'll be uploading this video tomorrow morning, by the way, like at 9 or 10 o'clock. It'll still be 19th of August 2012. Again, this is one of those things. If you sit there and just focus that damn time, it went down to 3 days plus or minus the time he said. I'm going to throw it away. It means nothing to me anymore because it was a false prediction. I know better. I know it's coming. I know it'll be spot on as far as the prediction goes. The timing's not always right, and that's one of the flaws of the Webbot. However, some of the other timing is right on the money. It said they'd be throwing everything at precious metals to keep the prices down. That's exactly what they're doing. Over and over and over again. Last several months. Including this month. So it's saying the same data set, silver to gold ratio, will be coming back to normal. Should be starting in July. What if it's September? What if it starts in September? You could be pissed off that, I was expecting it in July. If you're pissed off, you're a bozo, because that means the price is going to go way up. And you were wanting the price to go way up 2 months ago when you currently would have had 2 months to buy extra silver at these fantastic prices. I want to see if there's anything else that caught my eye. Thought there was something in here about it's going to be futile because the price of precious metals are just going to go up anyways, no matter what they tried. Usually when I look in the Webbot report, I'll search for keywords silver, metals, precious, PMs, because he uses those terms throughout the thing, and rather than sit here and scroll through 38 pages and try to find it, I just do a quick search. But the point of this video, I've already given it. And you just heard Nancy Grace, mainstream bozo, talk about a propaganda press whore. The words the webbot used. Using their filthy mouth, basically, to describe people with precious metals and people who don't want to get back into the paper money system, you know, where the smart people are, where the economic advisors say to go, the economists, the Harvard and Princeton and all those guys, yeah. And the bozos like me and Pastor Dow, Greg Vegas, SGT Bull, host of others. Buy precious metals. Who the hell did you go to, Jay Snip, did you go to college for any kind of economic class whatsoever? No. Not even kind of. Not even in a dream that when I woke up I realized I was dreaming. No, not even there. Because if I did have that dream, it would be a nightmare. Why would I would think to myself, who put that in my damn head as a nightmare tonight to go to college and learn about economics? If you go to college to learn about economics, you're only going to learn what the elitists put in front of you to learn in their books, because it's their books you're learning about. That's why there's any central banker, any head of finance, they all do the same stuff. It doesn't matter if it's in India, China, Russia, United States, Greece, the UK, the whole entire EU. It does not matter. Because they all learn the same thing and they all have the same response. Let's print more money. Let's give a bailout and give massive austerity measures to these people. Let them suffer. Let their pages get cut in half and then half it again and then half it again after that. Just keep cutting it. That's the solution. So that our banker buddies can get paid. Incredible. And yet, what's the one thing that can save you? The one thing Nancy Grace is telling you, stay away from this guy's out of his mind. He's a bozo, using her very strong, foul words against him. Whatever this story was even about. Again, they just cut the piece of juiciness, if you will. And that's all I needed to hear. I don't need to see the rest of it. I mean, I just saw what I needed to see. It is spot on with what the webbot says, except it didn't happen in July. Darn, we're in August now, you know. I'll just throw the report away. You know what? I don't even think I'll upload this video. I'll just throw it away. It's probably useless. Who cares about it? Oh, I do. And I know a lot of you do. And that's why I'm uploading it tomorrow morning. Take care.